Somewhere in this country, there is a burial plot a family bought back in the 70s. Nobody was ever buried in it. The family moved 3 states away. And today, that one empty plot could be worth thousands of dollars. Here is the part almost nobody knows. They can still sell it. There is a quiet resale market for graves. Cemeteries do not advertise it because honestly, it competes with them. But it is real, it is legal, and once you understand how it works, you will never look at a cemetery the same way again. I am James, this is Eternal Rest, and today I am pulling back the curtain on the strangest real estate market in America. I am going to show you 3 things. 1, why you do not actually own your grave even after you pay for it. 2, why so many plots sit empty and unwanted right now. And 3, how families are quietly buying them for far less than the cemetery charges, and how others are recovering money they did not know they were sitting on. Stay to the end because the last one is where most people leave money on the table. Let me start with the thing that surprises everyone. When you buy a plot, you are usually not buying the dirt. You are buying what is called an interment right, or the right of burial. The cemetery still owns the land. You own the exclusive right to be buried in that spot. It sounds like a technicality. It is not, because that right is property. And like most property, in most states, it can be transferred, sold, inherited, given away. So when Grandma bought 4 plots back in the 70s for the family, she did not buy 4 squares of grass. She bought 4 transferable rights. And those rights did not disappear when the family plans changed. They are still out there with her name on them. This is where it gets interesting because there is a staggering number of unused plots in this country and the number keeps growing. There are 4 reasons. 1, cremation. More than half of Americans now choose cremation, and that number climbs every year. A huge share of those people, or their parents, already bought a traditional plot years ago. That plot is now just sitting there. 2, we move. The family that bought plots in their hometown lives across the country now. Nobody is driving back to be buried next to a town they left in 1990. 3, families got smaller. Grandma bought 6 plots, imagining everyone together. The grandkids are scattered, and most of them want something completely different. 4, inheritance. And this is the big one. People inherit these plots without even realizing it. It is buried in the estate paperwork, a deed for a cemetery right, and the heirs have no idea it has value or what to do with it. So you end up with a huge number of plots that are fully paid for, perfectly good, and that nobody is ever going to use. Now, here is why a market exists at all. The price gap. When a cemetery sells you a brand new plot, you pay retail. And cemetery retail is high, and it goes up almost every year. Like any land in limited supply, in a big city, a single plot can run $10, $20, even $30,000 and up. In a rural area, far less. But almost everywhere, the cemetery new plot price is the most expensive way to buy. Meanwhile, you have all those families holding plots they will never use who would happily sell. They are not trying to make a fortune. They just want to recover what they can and stop thinking about it. So a buyer can often get an identical plot, sometimes in the very same cemetery, for meaningfully less than the cemetery charges for the 120 feet away. Same location, same care, lower price. That is the whole reason the resale market exists. Now you might be thinking, James, this sounds too good to be true. Is it even legal to sell a grave? Yes. In the vast majority of places, you can sell or transfer a burial right. But there are rules. 1, the cemetery controls the transfer and usually charges a transfer fee. 2, some cemeteries have a right of first refusal, meaning they can buy it back first, often at a low price. 3, get everything in writing, the deed, the transfer, the price, and that is exactly the gap we built Eternal Rest to close. We are a marketplace for burial plots. On one side, families who own a plot they will never use because they moved, because they chose cremation, because they inherited it, can list it and recover real value instead of letting it sit or taking a buyback for pennies. On the other side, families who need a plot can buy one for less than cemetery retail with the transfer handled properly. We handle the awkward part, pricing it fairly, finding the other side, and walking both of you through the cemetery process so it is done right. So, quick recap, you do not own the land, you own a transferable right. A growing number of those rights are sitting unused. There is a real price gap between what cemeteries charge and what families will sell for. And selling or buying one is legal. You just have to follow the cemetery process. If you have a plot in the family that nobody is ever going to use, it is very likely worth something, and you do not have to leave that money in the ground. And if you're looking for a plot, you almost certainly do not have to pay full cemetery retail. There is a link below to find out what your plot might be worth, or to see what is available. It costs nothing to look. I am James. This is Eternal Rest. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.